host, Daniel Hill. On Monday, we talk about what the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, shared on his Ask Me Anything, and I give you my opinions. And I'm just going to tell you that any conversation we talk about with respect to money and Instagram or Threads paying creators is now going to be 100% tainted because of what I shared on the weekend episode. If you didn't catch that, go back and listen. I still need to make a reel and a TikTok about it, which I will do. But if you didn't hear it yet, I will just tell you that Instagram is making more money than YouTube and paying creators a lot less. YouTube gives 55% of all ad revenue earned to creators. Instagram is making so much more money than that and saying that they don't have money. I don't even want to. Okay, let's just do the first question. How can I get more subscribers? I do not think the goal should be getting your followers to pay you, but rather Instagram to pay you. Here's Adam's answer.
Subscriptions are not for everybody. There's only a subset of creators who I think have a set of followers who are willing to pay for some of their content. But if you are one of those creators, it's a great business because it's more stable and expected and sustainable, and you're running a business. And you should let people know about your subscription service, either through your stories, your feed posts, or even your channel. And you can actually, even in stories, add a link to subscribe right then and there in line. And you can also point people towards your profile where they can subscribe. And look for more ways to make it easier for people to discover creators to subscribe to over time.
Question. Bonuses is where Instagram or Threads potentially pays out creators a very, very small amount for their content based on the number of views or engagement that it got. The question, how can I be part of Threads bonuses?
The Threads bonus right now is just a test with a handful of creators to see if we can get the system working. In general, for any of these performance-based incentives, we want to see if we can pay creators to create more content in a way that actually gets people to use the app more and allows us to then make more money with the business on the ad side to pay for that system or to pay for that program. If it doesn't work, then we're just burning money and it doesn't make sense. So it's really early days for bonuses on Threads. Please don't expect us to scale this anytime soon. But we are experimenting because we would like to see if we can create a system that is sustainable that we can then scale over time.
Totally get that. However, YouTube has a revenue sharing program where they made $28.8 billion in 2021, and they shared 55% of it with creators. Instagram in that same year made $32 billion. So you have money to share. Okay, I'm not going to say anything else about this. I'm going to move on to other topics. Otherwise, it's just going to be me ranting the rest of the episode, and you're going to be annoyed. The next two questions I want to talk about are going to be along a similar theme. The first one, make Instagram like it was back in 2016. I assume this person means when we didn't have stories, before we had full screen video in portrait mode, videos were capped at 15 seconds, and so on.
Can't do it. I get this a lot. Just bring back old Instagram, bring back old Facebook. The thing is, the world is changing, and if we don't change along with it, we're just going to become irrelevant and shrink. And when we shrink, everyone's reach goes down, and I think everyone gets even more mad. If you look at how Instagram's grown over the last couple of years, it's all been in new products. It's been in Reels. It's been in recommendations. It's been in DMs. It's been in stories. None of those things were part of Instagram when we launched. We were just a feed of square photos. So I get that it's a pain to have to figure out how are these platforms changing and how do you change to keep up and continue to stay relevant. But if we don't change, then I promise we would become less relevant. Our business would suffer, but so would every creator's experience on the platform. So we're going to try and find the right balance. I'm going to try and explain everything as we go along to bring everyone along with us, but we're going to continue to adapt as the world does.
Photographer. Biggest tip for non-video creators to grow? I'm going to let Adam give an answer, but then I'm going to share something newsworthy that I think it is very important for photographers to know and pay attention to.
It's true that videos tend to get more distribution than photos, and this isn't because we're trying to juice videos in the ranking model. It's because people tend to be more interested in photos. But that doesn't mean all creators need to produce videos. You might not have a natural way to do that. That's true to who you are. Photographers is a good example. Now, I would look for other ways to give yourself a leg up. So experiment first to see what resonates with your followers specifically. Try things like carousels, which allow you to upload more than one photo at once and give your posts multiple opportunities to show up in feed, because after they see the first post, we can bump it sometimes and slide it over to the second. Try adding music, which I think also can help make your content more engaging, and definitely engage with your fans. Look for ways to reply to comments, connect with them in DMs, other ways to give energy back to people who love your stuff.
Said for a fact that when you make a carousel, they show that post multiple times. I've always said that on the show, but it's nice to hear him say it. Second, if only there was some competition in this space. Good news, there will be very soon. TikTok has been working on a dedicated photo app, which they are calling, for now, TikTok Notes. Some people in the TikTok app are getting a pop-up that says your photo post will be shown on TikTok Notes. TikTok Notes, a new app for sharing photo posts, is coming soon. Your existing and future public TikTok photo posts will be shown on TikTok Notes, and you have the option to turn it off if you don't want that to happen. So if you're a photographer, you've been frustrated with Instagram for a long time, go check out TikTok Notes, spend some time with it, see if you like it. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into whether or not your content is shadow banned, why your followers aren't seeing your content, and Adam Mosseri's thoughts on AI. So stick around. Oh, hey, welcome back. Let's get into the next question, which is all about whether or not Instagram rewards shorter content or longer content. I will say that from my experience, Reels that are 3 to 4 seconds can do a lot better than ones that I talk for 45 seconds with tons of graphics and animation and all sorts of different things. The question, does Instagram now prefer long-form content? I've had this message pop up a few times. Here's Adam's answer.
We don't have an inherent preference ourselves, but in general, I do think shorter form content does better on Instagram than longer form content. We just find that people use Instagram not once for an hour in a day, but they use it many times for a few minutes. And so generally stuff that allows you to consume it quickly while you're waiting for the bus or you're waiting in line to buy lunch tends to do better, but everyone's audience is different. And you might have an audience that likes long form content, but by far the vast majority of the videos on Instagram and the ones that do well are relatively
the goal you
short.
should be going for is shares, getting people to share it either in the DMs or some other method like stories. I also think that you should focus on replays, meaning is it something so good that people need to watch it again, either because they enjoy it so much or because they learned something or whatever. Going for that replay, also very critical. Last question we're going to do today. What are your latest thoughts on AI? I'll let Adam go first, and then I'll give my thoughts.
I still think it's early days in a lot of ways. Obviously, we've been using AI for years at Instagram, but a lot of people are focused more now on generative AI that creates content. But I think it's going to be a little bit less like autonomous AIs that go and post content on your behalf or on their own behalf, and it'll manifest more as a series of tools that people can use to do whatever that they do better. For creators specifically, I'm very interested in creativity tools, ways to translate videos, edit text, get feedback on what's working and what's not, things that you can work into your workflow in addition to the other tools that you use, as opposed to something that's going to replace that entire set of work.
In the early days of AI. But one key thing that I'm really looking forward to is APIs to connect some of the AI tools that are existing and being built with existing tools that we all use every day. And I'll give you a perfect example. I use Google Flights to find an appropriate flight from the right airport at the right time. Then I go on a separate site to try to find the hotel, then figure out what is our itinerary going to be, where are we going to get the rental car from, and where are we going to drive. And AI should be able to not only plan all that, but also purchase the plane tickets, make the hotel reservations. All of those things should happen seamlessly, almost like a virtual assistant, whether it's someone that you hire to do that work for you or the AI does it. That's where I'm really looking for AI to shine in the next 12 months. That is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to me rant and rave about how annoyed I am about how much money Instagram is making. And be sure to check out links in the show notes for the TikTok Notes app so you can start posting your photos to it as soon as it launches. As always, thank you so much for listening. As soon as it launches. As always, thank you so much for listening.
I'm not yet a member of the Instagram team, but my podcast covers many Instagram themes. But the name, image, logos are trademarks of Instagram and the LCC in the USA and every territory. Everything I publish independently until Zuck returns my DMs and starts to pay my salary. Not sponsored or endorsed, no lies, no fallacies. I use their logo with permission, not malicious or callously. No trademark violation, filling all criteria. Follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Daniel Hill Media.